Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here. Welcome back to Painted Studio. We are 10 days away from Halloween. So obviously I'm wearing another one of my wonderful Fifi Mahoney headbands and getting in the Halloween spirit by doing what? We're going to be working on Christmas things today. So once again, we're working on our little cottage that we started yesterday. We're almost done with it. We're going to finish it up in this live. So cute. Hey, Maddie, nice to see you. All right, I'm going to flip the camera down. We're not going to play. We're just going to get right to work. And of course, if you have any questions, post them. If I missed the question, I promise I'll come back and write the answer down in the thread, even if I've missed it in our general live. All right, so yesterday we did our koi cheetah foil on the frame, and clearly I had missed some of it, so we're gonna fix that one up right now. All right, I'm gonna take a piece of the koi cheetah again, and I'm just gonna go over the spots that I applied foil adhesive yesterday to correct the places I missed, because I'm that gifted. I think I can foil stuff, and then, I forget to put the adhesive on. So we're gonna just touch up those spots that I missed yesterday and get it all done, and then we're gonna go on to the other spots. So I still have to do the trees. I have to do the backgrounds in the windows. I have our little wreath to do, and I have the light bulbs to do, and then I have to handle the snow. So it sounds like a lot, but we have the ability to do it. I know we can. So the first thing I want to do, I thought I had the golds that I wanted over here for the trees, but I don't. So give me just a second and let me grab it. There we go. Had it on the rack behind me. This is our antique gold. So just like in the other ones, in the gray one, I did pewter here, and then I did a chrome here. I'm going to use a darker gold. This is antique gold for the trees. So we have some variation in our coloring. And I'm going to take a little piece of that. Just tore it off because I don't need a whole lot to do this, clearly. And if you remember when I put the foil adhesive on yesterday, I'm going to zoom in it just a little bit so you all can see better. That didn't stay zoomed. Okay, so when I did this yesterday, I don't know if you can see this, catch it in the, but you can see I brushed that adhesive on those little trees and sort of a evergreen kind of pattern, so that when I put my foil down, my brush strokes will mimic texture that will look really nice on this. I'm just rubbing it with my fingers. If I don't get a good release, I'll come back and rub on it with a scrub brush. Oh, no, I got great release. Look how nice that looked. Might need a little more because, again, when you do foiling on a lighter background, and then you go over it with a foil that might be a little darker, you'll see some of those lighter colors break through because the foil is an imperfect release. So you might look at it and think, maybe I want to go over that just a little more with a second time. Let me come in here. And I'm using a scrub brush. I'm using a stiff toothbrush, but I haven't made it too short. I haven't trimmed it down because I don't want these bristles so stiff that I actually scratch the foil that I've laid down already and then make it dull. Although I actually am kind of dulling this a little bit and it works. I like that actually. All right, I'm gonna do that a little more aggressively because I like that change that I got out of that. By putting the foil on here and going back and scrubbing it, not only am I trying to apply more foil, but I'm kind of scratching the foil that I've already put on here, so it's a little delicate, and I can show you the difference. So if you look on this one, and it's glossy, and you look at this one, it's a little duller. That's from applying foil again and scrubbing it. What it does is it then scratches that a little bit, so you don't get a shiny release sometimes if you scrub over twice. It's better if you don't want to lose the gloss, rub on it, don't scrub on it if you have to do a second foil release. I liked how that scrubbing came out, so I'm actually aggressively trying to make it happen. Yes, that worked. I dulled it down. I really like the way that looks. I like that slight difference in the shine as well as the difference in the color. And I think I'm going to do, since I don't want to go bronze, I'm going to do that. And I am going to scrub this the first time. I'm not going to come back and do a second scrub. And so now I've got some difference in gloss too. So my wreath is glossy and my trees are a little bit matte. By dulling down the foil, I added a little extra dimension to that. So the last thing I have left to foil is the bulbs. And I think we're just gonna go and use some holographic glitter. This is called cubism, not really glitter, it's cubism. So I'm gonna foil all of these in the cubism, get a little bit of holographic, slightly different gold going. I like how that looks. And yesterday when I applied the foil adhesive on all of the little bulbs, I kind of let it dome up. I let it build up thicker than I normally would because it gives a little, again, it's a little bit about giving dimension. And I'm just doing this with my fingers. And I'm gonna reach down here. Let's see. I'm just gonna do all those bulbs right across there this way. Since I'm not alternating like I did on the other one. Yeah, I like that. So we're good with that. Look how pretty that looks. Now, we've got our last few steps. We have to get the door background and then we have to get our snow. So the first thing I'm going to do, if I can find everything I'm looking for, which is always questionable, I'm going to take some Artsyville foil adhesive, and you know I always pour off into a side jar just to make my life easy. And this one that I have to the side right here is sitting right next to me, so I can dip into it and go right into this. So we're gonna put some foil adhesive here. Now normally, when I do foil adhesive, I'm gonna tell everybody you need to wait, you know, a good hour minimum before you're using the foil adhesive. But I have found, and if you remember from the other video, but if you don't, that's why I'm repeating it, that if I want to do glitter, the best thing I could do is to do the glitter while this is wet to gummy. Why? Because the wetness grabs it more opaquely than it would if it was cured up for over an hour. I've tried it both ways, so when this is cured for an hour or more and I put glitter on it, it's just a little sheerer. So if I want it super opaque, it's better when I do it wet because the damp grabs it more glitter. And it kind of glues itself together and creates a more opaque glitter coating. I don't know if that actual explanation makes any sense, but it's a little like if you have a dry counter and dust it with flour, you get a little bit of a coating. If you have a wet counter and pour flour on it, you get a pastier coating. And really that's what I'm trying to achieve, is I want a pastier coating of glitter into my windows. I want them more opaquely glittered than will happen if I let this dry. just gonna do this. I gotta dip back into that one window where I had way too much adhesive even for what I need it for. Now this will have started to cure up and dry before I finish doing all the windows and get the glitter in them, but that's okay because it's still at that kind of gummy, gooey stage. And that works really to my benefit. And I do this when I do epoxied thermal cups. If I'm glittering them, I have found out it's better off if I do it while this is far, far, far less dry than recommended for foiling. Now, I promise you, I know you all think I glitter everything, but honestly, I don't. I glitter a lot of small stuff. I don't glitter the big projects. That doesn't work for me. I'm very generous with the adhesive in these windows. So I'm just gonna put them all in. And please note, if I am not seeing your comments because the camera is angled down, I do go back, I read them, I answer them. So don't think I'm ignoring you. It's just my iPad's in the car and the camera's angled down, so I can't see the questions. I'm going to go around here. All right, I think we got this pretty well covered. I just need to get down this little spot right down here. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to grab some of our cocoa brown glitter. This is something we carry here in the studio. It's a custom mix just for us. It's a limited edition. And I'm going to sprinkle it into the windows. I'm doing this carefully because I don't really want to get the glitter all over everything, because and that happens to me a lot. I get glitter everywhere. And this is not a project where I want to take it in a bag and shake it and dust it in that way. I need to actually use a brush and move the glitter around a little bit, because I don't want it to stick to everything else. Let's do that. And just take a little art brush and move it around, and if I need more, I dip the brush in the glitter, come back, pounce it in. For something small like this, your brush will grab a lot of glitter. You'd be really surprised at how much you can get just a plain old dry art brush to grab. I'm getting a nice opaque coverage with this brown glitter. And this is such a pretty color glitter. And I really like the glitter in the windows. It adds that final little bit of dimension that is needed to reflect more light and make these look more reflective. Doing better today. Yesterday I could not get a sentence out of my mouth completely. Today seems to be better. I just was losing my words all day yesterday. Nothing was coming out right. Today seems to be a little better. Maybe because it's earlier. I don't know. I have no idea what time of day I function best. I just know that best is definitely not 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you know what I did? I forgot to put some adhesive on the inside of the wreath. That was silly. And I meant to do that. So before I go any further, come back with my adhesive brush. I got way too much adhesive on there. Should be good. Just gonna make sure I got enough on there. Alrighty, that should get us the rest of the way. I know this is more time consuming than most glitter applications, but this is the best way I personally have found to control how I want to apply glitter when it's going only in limited spaces and not have it just be like a huge mess. Glitter brush to the side because that'll have to get washed out. Okay, now let's take this and do this. And look how nice and glittery that is. Look at how that just is super reflective and we get a little bit more dimension. I really like that. Just take a sec, brush some of the glitter to the side because we have one last step. Now we have to handle the snow. So I'm going to zoom back out. All right, I'm going to flip up for a second and see if there's any questions that I've missed. Hey, Kathy, nice to see you, and Sandy and Christina, thank you all for coming by. All right, so there aren't any questions at the moment, so we're going to move on to the next step. Flip back down. So now I need to create the snow, and on the last one we did, I used our Artsyville texture medium, and that was perfect. But this is very white and gray, so I need something that works a little more golden for this. So I've got a little cup. And we're going to use our Artsyville, no, I got the wrong product. I grabbed the wrong thing. Hang on just a second, everybody. Here it is. I grabbed the crackled medium when I needed the glass bead gel. So we're going to take some of our Artsyville glass bead gel, which comes in a can, looks like this, nothing very unusual. And we're not using this one because I thought it looked a little dried out, and I did not have the lid on this can, and it's hard, so we're going to go grab another can. Hang on just a second, everybody. we're just going to dip into a fresh quart because obviously I didn't take care of that can and it did not get closed properly. So this is how I receive them, and we don't unbag them here because this is how they come to us. And so when we ship them out to you, we like to keep them in the bag so that nothing leaks in your shipment. This is one of the smartest ways I've ever seen cans of stuff packed to go. And then we have to take the little clips off the can. So I usually use something like a needle nose plier and pull it off. That way they don't go flying across the room. See, no problem opening it that way. And then I can take the plier and pop open the can. Ta-da! All right, that's better. Fresh glass bead gel. This is what the glass bead gel looks like, not the dried out version that I showed you a minute ago. And we're gonna take a little of that. So pumped to open that and see it completely dried out. I'm like, ah, crap. That was a whole lot of product I just wasted. Let's take out that much. So we're gonna take out that much bead gel. And when this dries, it dries clear. It does not dry opaquely white. All that medium that's in there is clear acrylic, and clear acrylic, when it's not dry, looks whitish. But to make it fit this a little more, we're gonna add a little bit of our gold dust to it. This is a faux, that's not a faux effects product. This is a Painted Studio product. It's our gold shatter, or gold dust, sorry. I'm not adding a lot in here because I don't want to have it end up making the roof look golden. I want it just to look like there's gold in the snow. Mixing it up with my palette knife. You can see it doesn't change the color because this isn't dissolving in there. It's just suspending the gold dust in with the glass beads. So it doesn't really look all that different, but once it's dried, that little bit of gold dust in there is gonna kind of make this look a little more I'm trying to think of in sync with the rest of the golds and stuff that we have on here. So we're gonna take this, and we're just using a palette knife, or you can use a hotel room key that you cut to fit the right shape, because I took too much on here and now I'm having a little bit of a control issue. But I'm going to take it and smear it, and this will not, when you put it one bead thick, it dries very clear and you can see what's under it. When you start building it up like I am, it will dry a little more opaque. You're going to see much more bead. You're not going to see the undercolor so much, other than it might cast the tone behind it. So that was my goal here. Now hopefully this is going to dry the way I want it to, because I haven't done something like this with this product in a minute. So usually does what I think it's going to do, but you know, I have moments like everybody else. And we're not going to know until at least tomorrow, because this is going to need a day or so to cure through. Meaning that this will dry on top and be clear, but the bottom still will have to have all its moisture released as it cures up. So it may be a day or two before we see it clearer. Don't worry, I promise I'll post pictures. And you can see I'm going along the edge to get any extra that drips down the sides. Now this one, I can kind of tell it was a dollar store piece, because the snow that's cut out does not quite line up correctly. They didn't glue that one very well. This has got a little bit of a offset to it. Now, if you notice, I just accidentally filled that little hole, but I knew that could happen. So before this dries, long before this dries, you take the end of a paintbrush or something along those lines and you stick it in the hole and you clear that hole, because otherwise, once this dries, you won't be able to get it out very easily, and then you won't have a place to stick the string back through. So make sure you make that hole at the top cleared before this dries. Let's keep going. We're gonna frost our snow on here. Yeah, I stick my fingers in everything. I try to be good and only use the tools, but almost instantaneously, like you just saw, my fingers go and stuff. That's probably why you'll never see my bare nails, because the nail polish stuff hides everything I get my fingers into. I'm getting there, almost done. All right, so I've got the whole roof done, and I'll go along here and clean up any overage. And put it up here. All right, now I'm going to do the top window, then these two. And I've got to think about which way my hand goes. So top, then right, then left, because otherwise I will drag my hands through all of this stuff. I've learned this the hard way over many, many years, because being a lefty, growing up, the entire backside of my hand was forever covered in ink and graphite and paints, because I was never, being a lefty, you're writing the wrong way across a piece of paper. So you're always dragging as it is. Every single paper I ever hand wrote and turned in was kind of smeared. My teachers would get a little annoyed until I reminded them I was left-handed, and they're like, oh yeah, never mind. We'll go back to the fact that you're writing a good paper, or not. I was very fortunate. I went to a school that had heavy emphasis on quality writing, so I did learn to write fairly well, if not creatively. Creatively also got saved for the art classes. And I will tell you, I had a wonderful art teacher in high school named Mr. Thompson, and he taught all grades. We were a very small high school, and he really encouraged us to explore creativity. He tried, God love him, he tried to teach a bunch of 7th, 8th, and 9th graders how to do perspective drawing, but that was his challenge. God, he was such a good man. But he taught me how to do things like stained glass. He taught me about all kinds of stuff with the chemistry of paints, that if you took a minute to listen, it was really interesting. And of course, teenagers aren't notorious for their ability to take a minute and listen. But he was very encouraging and a really good guy. The world needs more teachers like him in all subjects. My aunt also used to teach art at the school. In high school, when I was a kid, my graduating class was like 110. So we had one wing of the big school for elementary school and the other for junior high and high school. So literally we were all connected by hallways. And my aunt would teach in elementary school, and occasionally she would substitute in high school. And it was always fun to have her in class. She was the one who got me in my creative career, and I will forever be thankful. She gave me my very first blank notebook and magic markers. She always gave me paints and stuff as a kid. I think my mother kind of hid them back after Ellie would give them to me just because of the mess I could make. Clearly that didn't stop me. It'd be interesting to hear from all of you how you got started on your creative journey. The long and the short of it is I was always going to be a painter. I got busted at like 2.5 years old by my grandmother for painting her living room walls with Vaseline and a pastry brush because I'd seen her painters coming in and working on her house. So I was kind of destined. The writing was on the wall from 2.5 years old. So, and then I always was fortunate to have some really good creative people around me, even though my parents were fairly conservative and not necessarily the creative ones. But yeah, I always kind of had to do my own thing. It made my parents crazy. Okay, so we are completed with our cute little house. Now the glass bead gel is on there. It will change color, so it's not going to be white like this once it's cured. It will be softer. It will have the gold in it. If I don't like the color that this cures up over the neutral white, I might come back and do a little dusting of pearl mica powder on it. I haven't decided yet. We'll find out. It's a matter of seeing how it dries. All right, everybody, we have our little gold house. Look how cute that is. I think we're going to have a great result once that's cured up. Flip up. All right, everybody, thank you for stopping by today. I will probably be back. I have more projects going, and we'll talk about them later on. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.